hosts, the Bay Area Brawler, Skyler, Greenberg, and your Colonial Champion, Sean McCarty. Welcome to the Court Martial Podcast.
And welcome to the Court Martial Podcast. I am your Colonial Champion, Sean McCarty, and I'm sure that you were surprised that I went from really energetic to really calm and relaxed. And you know why? Because I feel like I have had maybe the greatest night's sleep off a wrestling show in my life. And I can't believe I'm saying that, but here we are at night 2, WrestleMania Sunday. For all of you who have heard part 1, we didn't know. But boy, does it really not change any of our opinions about the show, what happened on night 2. And that's a good thing, because it doesn't sour anything. Instead, what we got was oh so sweet. But now we have to talk about WrestleMania Sunday. And to join me in this unusually pleasant experience is the man of the hour, the man with the power. He himself is too sweet to be sour. He is the Bay Area Brawler himself, Captain Windbreaker, Skyler Greenberg. How you doing, buddy?
About to break this wind extra large, baby.
Well, waft that in some
Roll down the window. Roll down the window before you start breaking the wind.
That's too late, bros.
Oh,
Too late.
Smell it from here.
Oh,
What did
man.
you
Oh,
eat?
God. My
Wingstop?
God. Oh,
What
Lord.
did you eat, Wingstop?
Oh, Lord. Well,
To answer your question, beans. Lots and lots of beans.
What did you have, Squid? I had nothing.
well,
Nothing.
and this man who was
Okay.
this man was all or nothing for this WrestleMania Night 2, and I am thankful to that he is here today to be able to recount the experience instead of throwing things and rage quitting and giving everything a 0 and going fuck this company, which is what we expected. But that's not what happened. But my personal editor, who does everything, while Skyler is the windbreaker, JoshAgeddon is the wind smeller?
The wind editor.
The wedditor.
I edit the way Skyler's wind smells.
Well, he may very well be wet while he's editing. That is JoshAgeddon. And because I know for a fact he records a lot of these podcasts just like in his underwear and or shirtless.
Well, I'm wearing my Marilyn Manson shirt for this bitch. This is a special occasion.
Well, it sure is a special occasion. How you doing, gentlemen? And can you believe we're here?
Dude, I'm not even joking. If we got the opposite outcome, I wouldn't be here right now for this video.
Absolutely.
Oh ye of little faith.
Oh, ye of little suck my cock. Shut up.
I mean, it was justifiable, though. It was.
Dude, us and WWE has been a textbook Stockholm Syndrome abusive relationship. Maybe they'll do it this time. No, butt fuck. You get butt fucked. Maybe we'll get missionary that no, butt fuck. They didn't butt fuck us this time.
No, it was.
Even though they tried.
It was lovemaking. It was pure lovemaking, and that is the best. They stared into your eyes and said, "I love you," to every wrestling fan out there.
Every wrestling fan went.
Every wrestling fan was caressed in the arms of Based H as he gently held them tight and said, "I have you. You are safe now."
Our pedigrees.
Well,
and then told us to turn our heads and cough.
oh man. Well, let's get to our overall impressions while I have a cigarette. John,
Oh, please. It's going to be weed. It's a joint.
you're right. You're
We
right.
had Snoop Dogg. We had Snoop Dogg on commentary basically saying, yeah, weed.
Dude, there were
Why do you
so
think
many
WrestleMania is
references.
green?
There were so many references to it on this show. That was the amazing part. They made so many weed references, even Pat too. It was pretty hilarious. But overall impressions of WrestleMania Sunday, Skyler.
Now, again, there are things to be picked. There are nits to be had. And not everything was perfect because they're still learning. But that's kind of the good thing, is that they're still learning and they're getting better and they're making improvements. But most importantly, I have not felt this way about professional wrestling since I was young.
Yeah.
Like I was maybe like 8 or 9.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, it is incredibly rare to shed a tear in the name of pro wrestling, even angry ones. There were no angry tears. There were no sad tears. Well, the only time we really shed tears in wrestling is when wrestlers die young. Sadly, that's most of the time when it happens. But this was joyous tears. And it was, I can't believe I'm saying that, but it wouldn't have felt this way if it was just that one match that was good. The whole night slapped. They could not miss. Did they have some errors here and there? Of course they did. Did they have stuff that typically I would go, okay, that was garbage? Yes. But on this night, I had the most fun I have had, and also maybe the most intense nerves I've ever had in one show in my life. And from start to finish, everything was booked exactly the way it should be. The quality of the matches was good. They did different things to get you interested in different ways. It was, and now I'm sitting here going, we're recording this right before the Raw, before WrestleMania. I'm sitting here going, I actually want to know what happens now.
Same.
Which never happens. Like, I'm interested in Raw, and that is doing your job.
Dude, I can't wait for Raw.
Yeah, this is going to be an absolutely amazing review, because it is going to be relatively glowing from me. And to think that it started, well, first of all, before Stephanie comes out, we get this group war and training.
Hold on, Sean. Hold on. Before we get to that, I want to give my thoughts, my general thoughts.
Oh, I'm sorry. I skipped you just because you were not here the last time, and I'm still not quite believing you're there because it actually happened the way that we needed it to. So.
And then the fact that you are Captain Negativity and you were prepared to hate this show.
Dude, I was ready. I was ready to say fuck this and fuck them. Wrestling is dead. Thus saith the me. But I sometimes being wrong is a good thing.
Yeah.
I wish that I got off of work for this weekend, because I have never been more nervous while delivering pizza. Like, I have been hopped up on Monster Energy and 5-hour energy, and I was not shaking as bad because I was like, oh shit, the main event's happening right now. Oh shit, the main event's happening right now.
Yeah.
They're messaging me. Stop messaging me.
And the best part is that while we were talking during the main event, he's like, I shouldn't have just asked for the day off. Like, what the fuck.
Yeah. Not even joking. You two were watching wrestling. Apparently, from what you guys were saying, a great show. While I was putting trash in the dumpster, while two goats next door were fucking. That's what my life was last night. And
are we sure those goats weren't Vince McMahon and Janelle Grant?
No, there was fucking no head butt kidding. But anyway, and it was not the greatest of all time. And I was washing dishes when I looked down on my phone and I saw Skyler's message in our group chat. Cody won. I actually punched the company washing machine. I may or may not get in trouble for that. And my coworkers thought that I was insane. But my God, I actually got home and I watched the entire show, and I finished watching it around 5 o'clock this morning. So I'm tired. But my God, was this the best technical wrestling show ever? Was the mat work immaculate or error-free? No, but that's not what this was about.
Agreed.
Remember at SummerSlam 2022, and we were all like, this is Triple H saying, okay, I've got this. Everything's going to be okay. And then Vince McMahon came back and tried to fuck everything up.
He did fuck everything up. That's the thing, is that he fucked everything up by ruining last year's main events.
Yes.
But this WrestleMania, especially this night, was that again, except Triple H saying, all right, this is a different company now, motherfuckers. Strap in, buckle up your seatbelts, because I'm about to show you that pro wrestling can be awesome again. And that was how I felt watching this show. Not everything was perfect, but it didn't need to be. The feeling, and especially with that main event, is what made this show awesome to me. And I loved night 2. This was great.
Yeah. And it reminded me of the way that we all kind of perked up a little bit when Triple H started doing the first couple takeovers.
Mm-hmm.
And we were going, oh, shit. Triple H might actually know what the fuck he's doing here.
Mm-hmm.
And, we rode that for a long time until guess what happened? You wouldn't believe what happened. Vince
literally ejaculated a rainbow on top. He gave them rainbow. He basically turned
my God.
He turned NXT into a rainbow bukkake.
Oh man, that's coming up on TAWTF. Rainbow. It's Majin Buu, but he's a whole mess of colors.
Majin Buu, who finally came out of the closet.
The rainbow.
I knew he loved Mr. Satan, but this is a little too ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, anyway, if that's what happened. But if this was, we knew the potential was there, but we always thought that it was never going to happen because we had no reason to believe that it was ever going to happen for this feeling and this significant of a show and the message that it sent. And that we'll get into the little nitty gritties. We'll start with God Bless America done by Warren Treaty, which I really liked. I went in there kind of going like, okay, America, fuck yeah, and that. But at the end of it, I was like, okay, these guys actually have some talent. So I thought that was pretty cool. Yes, sir.
I have a question. Who are these people?
I don't know. And I couldn't figure out. And the thing was, I couldn't figure out which one was war and which one was treaty. And I was having a hard time with that one. But you know what? They had talent. I'm not bothered by it.
Well, later on when they were in the crowd, Treaty almost had a nip slip. So that was interesting.
Oh, okay. So are we sure that one is Treaty? That she's?
I don't know. I'm assuming now.
And honestly, with the size of both of them, that could apply to either of them.
I mean, to be honest, I thought I was watching Lizzo, but whatever.
No, a Chris Jericho-sized black woman didn't walk on the frame.
No, not this time. Maybe next time. Well,
but we did get Stephanie.
Instead, we got Stephanie McMahon, and I said, well, she is the good one after all. The most babyface McMahon they could possibly find, that would be Stephanie. And I actually really liked this promo. Was it Triple H stroking? Yeah. It very much was. But at the same time, I thought it was a nice change of pace. And goes to show that Stephanie is also like, she's in on this. Which is why I suspect that from the very beginning, the call was coming from inside the house when it came to Vince and Kennedy McMahon. But in any case, even Stephanie McMahon called it Welcome to Night 2 of WrestleMania instead of WrestleMania Sunday.
I know, right? And I'm not the only one who hates that shit. It's not just me.
It did make me laugh, I must say. And it was, but Stephanie came in and then I believe it was Pat McAfee, somebody said Stephanie killed it. And right after that, I think it was either Punk or Pat who said kilt it. And out comes,
yeah.
And out comes Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
And, well, before that, we also get the little nod that they have to Dropper Cole.
Yes.
Who had the report on the weather.
That was funny.
Yes, that was great because, Skyler, you said that bit wasn't getting over, brother, but even WWE brought it up. So,
how very much of me is it to doubt something and then it gets over despite what I say?
Yeah, well, that's all of us sometimes, and then much to the chagrin of JoshAgeddon most of the time.
No, Skyler's like, that'll never get over, brother. It gets over. Me, I'm the opposite. Something's over, and I'm like, that sucks. And then it, like, collapses. Case in point, Braun Strowman.
Yeah.
Skyler, how does it feel to be the yang to my yin?
Yes.
Well, no. Well, we got a Scottish pipe band from Philadelphia, and out comes Drew McIntyre. No sword in hand, but I loved this entrance.
Me too.
No broken dreams, but okay, we'll save that for his babyface run.
he was, well, I
CM
think-
Punk looks weird in a suit.
well, and then CM Punk's there, and he looked fine. His commentary was hilarious.
Yes.
I forgot just how good CM Punk is at commentary, but at the same time, Punk's greatest gift has always been his mouth.
Yes.
Although the thing that I kind of like, if I'm going to have a critique of Punk, he was talking about himself a little bit too much, but I get that's the story.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's he has to, he's as much a part of this as the two guys that are in the matchup itself. But,
Which, speaking of, will you both allow me to do this?
Are we about to have a news of the week?
no.
No. On this edition of What the Fuck is Seth Rollins Wearing?
First, it was a tumor the night before.
Then it turned out that tumor just went and engulfed like the entire town, like One Punch Man.
No, the tumor gained sentience, gave birth to 50 or 60 babies, and they all came out for Seth Rollins' entrance.
And they all had feathers.
This was, for some reason, Seth brought out every Kingdom Hearts villain known to man. As they all printed out there, and I was like, oh man. I was like, where is Sora, Donald, and Goofy? And I'll say this, if Seth Rollins came out and looked like Sora, I'd die. That would be the best.
But instead, he comes out looking like a 60s high society English woman.
I love CM Punk going, what a goof.
Oh yeah, well, and then this whole parade of Kingdom Hearts villains like surround the ring, and Cole and McAfee are like, high five, give me some high fives.
And Punk is like, I can't high five, I'm injured. Tell them, Pat, I'm injured.
Yes.
I mean, it honestly reminds me of the time that the New Day made their entrance to midgets and pancakes going around the ring.
No, this was full LSD.
Yeah.
This was
the only thing that was missing was No Way Jose.
He might have been there in one of the costumes for all we know. And but in any case, then Seth gets into the ring after all these goofs leave, and I named, as I saw all the feathery outfit that Seth had, I called him High Chief Franklin Hurtfoot, as he would affectionately be known.
High Chief Franklin Brokeback.
Yeah, he looks like a dude who spent like a week in South Dakota outside a hotel next to a reservation. Is like, I'm so in touch with myself now. I have become akin to these people. And
I mean, he does have that third eye, apparently.
Well, then came Sammy Snapdragon Mephistocuffs Irvin.
Listen, we will criticize Sam Irvin for putting way too much effort into her stuff, but I'm not going to criticize her on this night because at the end of the day, she's a fan like the rest of us, and she's trying.
I will criticize everything up to the main event.
I will also criticize everything, including I do not need the announcers constantly going, man, Samantha Irvin is so good. Man, she killed it. Man, she's not the star.
Yeah,
the wrestler is supposed to be the star.
Well,
Also,
once would be fine. All the time is a little overboard.
Also, this fucking camera, when they were doing the intros where they look CG, but they're not, that camera was fucking weird.
That camera was sponsored, I think.
By weirdness.
No, I think they actually
the,
had a sponsor on it. I can't remember who it was now, though.
That camera took the LSD that Seth brought.
Well, it was, but the hot start to this with the Claymore instantly was a perfect way to start. Now, before we get into the nitty-gritties, let's talk about overview. What did you think about the match, JoshAgeddon?
I thought it was great, and I could have done with maybe one less finisher kick out. That's one little critique of the entire show. Way too many.
That's the theme on the night. Yeah, I agree.
Got a little too crazy about that. But I very much enjoyed this. I loved the opening of the match, the hot start, immediate Claymore, because Drew McIntyre desperately needs to win this, and he's like, I'm not taking any fucking chances. I love this. This was a perfect way to kick off the show.
Now, you know what's wild is if they really wanted to take the piss out of Punk, they could have had that be the finish. But
The crowd thought it was the finish.
But I'm glad it wasn't, because what we got following was just tremendous stuff. And Skyler, your thoughts of the match?
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, I was looking at this match halfway. I was thinking, did Brock Lesnar book this?
Yeah.
Well, it was definitely a lot of finishers, but I must say, as this got going, they go to the outside, and Drew does a belly-to-belly on Seth Rollins, and Seth Rollins is a genius. Did you see the way that Seth rotated his body so that he took that bump on his injured leg? Both times he took that belly-to-belly, he flipped, turned, rotated, and landed square on that knee first.
When that scared me, because I was like, don't like twist your ankle or actually re-injure your knee. That did look brutal.
Yeah.
Of course, the best part was that he then goes over to his wife, who has his phone with him, and tweets out, "Bored at work, LOL."
I love Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, that's really good.
Dude, it's fucking hilarious.
That's really good.
And did you see his tweet after the show was over?
No.
It was just simply one word. Fuck. I fucking love Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, oh, no, he is absolutely terrific. And this was the perfect match to start this show with. And we get 2 stomps, but they're moving it along. That's what I said. I'm like, this is moving. This isn't just slow, meandering milk. We're actually doing something here.
I could have done without Seth Rollins' pedigrees.
I could have done without the pedigree all weekend, really. But
again, it's Triple H.
Triple H.
He's got
fine, whatever. If that's the worst we have to put up with in the Triple H era, fine. Do as many pedigrees as you want. They don't beat anybody anyway. You go for it.
just don't have people suck you off, Triple H.
Yeah,
that's where we cross the line.
Or at least be discreet about it.
As much as people were sucking Triple H off, I said this when I was talking about night 1. I have never seen someone suck themselves off more than Becky Lynch during her intro the night before. That was the most sucking off I've ever seen anyone suck off. But anyway,
just wait till you're married, son.
yeah, you know, right there.
And then okay, then they.
I hope those are not the sounds you're making as you're being sucked off.
It's gonna be
Then there's only one question you have to ask yourself. What do I have to do?
That's what I'm going to say when she's doing it. What do I have to do?
Yeah.
Why was this used on the first match on 5 minutes in?
Well, because they wanted to get it out of the way. They didn't really say it the rest of the night.
I get that, but still, it's just...
They got, and, maybe they wanted to get it out of the way going, yeah, that's usual stuff, but we're moving on from it. I did really like when Drew signaled for the GTS and Punk's like, oh, cute.
Yeah.
And then the GTS counter into the Claymore didn't do it. And Drew's like losing his deal. Tell me if I'm going too fast here. And then they get back onto the outside and we get the stomp on the announce table.
Real quick, did you guys notice that, Seth had a black eye?
I thought that was his makeup, honestly.
No, he got booted right in the eye. It wasn't a Claymore, it was a big boot, but it smacked him right in the eye, and his eye was swollen. And he was talking to the referee and rubbing his eye. I thought I heard him mouth, "I can't see."
Well, that would suck.
I mean, it wouldn't be a surprise given that these guys were laying their stuff into each other.
Oh yeah, they were beating the shit out of each other.
Oh yeah, totally. This
was an absolute potato farm.
That's the thing with Drew. It's he lays it in and he gets the guys next to him to lay it in as well. And we get Claymore number 3, and that still doesn't do it. And then Punk says, well, he needs to use the GTS. After Drew already tried to mock him by trying to do it. And then Punk's like, no, that'll actually work.
I don't really super like this finish only because he does a Claymore, he stands up, Seth tells him to come on, and then he does a fourth Claymore. Like, I think the third one would have been enough.
I think the second one would have been enough, but at the same time, it happened. You know, right finish, whether it was a little excessive or not, sure. You definitely get that, but again, the result of it kind of justifies it for me. It's like, okay, was it the perfect match? No, but it was exactly what these two needed to have and what Drew needed to have for this matchup. And the fact that Punk really stayed out of it until the aftermath is also a huge help, I think.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it maintained kind of its purity in that respect.
Dude, this post-match was marvelous.
Well, why don't you tell us about it?
Drew is being it's a
Well, hold on. Before you even get to that part, we get the thing with Drew and Seth where Seth tells him, you deserve it. Like, that was nice to see that resolution.
Yeah.
Seth looked like Drew just kicked a puppy, and he was so sad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can we get 3,000 likes for Seth Rollins being super sad?
F in the chat for Seth Rollins' title reign. But real quick, before I talk about the finish, before I talk about the finish, well, I mean the post-match, shout out to Seth Rollins. He was awesome as world champion, as the inaugural world champion. His reign, yeah, it wasn't perfect, but I loved his reign, and he absolutely killed it.
We talked about Rhea not having a ton of people to contend with. Seth Rollins made contenders out of a lot of people who really had no business being in that position. And that is something I really appreciate from Seth, which is why he won our Wrestler of the Year at the Grapplings last year. Because he earned every bit of that. So to see him lose the title, which he had to lose, he couldn't keep it. To be like, it wouldn't have worked. I think people have kind of gotten tired of the run, and I'm going to explain why it actually makes even more sense now because of what they've done here. But I share the sentiment. Seth had a great run, and for somebody who got critiqued for having the third title, he did make it feel significant. It's still the opening match world title, but it's still worth something. Yeah.
But this post-match, the running theme with Drew is he whines and complains and gets this match, but he always does something at the last second because he can't help himself, and it always screws him over. He literally is the champion, but he can't help himself. He goes over and starts talking shit to CM Punk, and CM Punk is like, I literally can't hear you. It's too loud.
That was so funny.
I love CM Punk.
No,
Good.
That was so good. But
Punk gets tired of his shit, sweeps the leg, Drew bounces off the table, and Punk just starts beating the fuck out of him. Then he does the callback to Money in the Bank with the kiss to his wife. And then the Judgment Day theme hits. You want to know what my favorite part of this whole cash-in was?
Was it right before Drew got instigative and Punk looked at him and was clapping? He goes, have fun taking selfies of it on the internet.
No. My favorite part, there were two things I loved about this. One, when that music hit, the evil grin on CM Punk's face, a million out of 10. He was like, oh, yes, I just fucked Drew over, and I'm so happy.
Yeah, and it was beautifully shot, too, so you got that exact reaction at the exact right time.
CM Punk was happier about this Money in the Bank cash-in than either of his own Money in the Bank cash-in.
Yeah.
It was hilarious. I've never seen a man more happy to fuck over another dude. It was so funny.
Oh, and then...
But my other favorite thing was Damian Priest was so excited and jacked to do this. Did you notice that when he clobbered Drew with the Money in the Bank briefcase, it went flying?
Yeah.
And I was like, Damian, you can't cash in the briefcase if you throw it into the 10th row.
Yeah, remember when Brock used that as his defense?
Yeah.
When he just yeeted the briefcase like down the aisle.
Yeah, Damien beams him with it, but he's so jacked that it goes flying. I'm like, uh-oh. And then Damien cashes in. Everyone's going nuts, and he gets Drew up for the biggest choke slam ever, pins him, and Damien is a champ. Mazel tov. This was an awesome cash in.
And he got the pop.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the thought. I was really worried that Damian Priest cash-in was going to go, but it landed. It landed right where it needed to, when it needed to, and I appreciate the fact. I wish he hadn't made so many fake attempts leading up to this. It kind of ruins the concept when you do it 1.5 bajillion times.
Yeah.
But they did it when it mattered, and I appreciate that, and they made it on a championship that deserved to have Money in the Bank be cashed in on.
Mm-hmm.
Skyler, your thoughts of this post-match celebration? Hello?
Is Skyler...
Sir?
Have we... Oh, Skyler is no...
He's dead.
Skyler, we lost Skyler. He has simply passed away.
We lost Skyler. Skyler,
Oh, no.
what happened, bro?
Why?
Why did he do this? Oh, there he is? Question mark?
Question mark? Is Skyler cashing in Money in the Bank?
This is... I don't know what happened. The lights went out and went back on.
Am I good? Am I good?
Are you? Are you good? You tell us.
That's what we were asking.
We didn't go anywhere. You did.
No, I just got hit in the head by the briefcase by Damian Priest.
That would do it.
I will attempt to try and fix my audio issues in a minute, but let me just say that, like, the fact that CM Punk, I was like, did he just turn heel? And I'm like, wait, nobody likes Drew McIntyre, so of course it was justified.
Yeah.
And Damian Priest, look, bisexual Undertaker did it, man. Bisexual Undertaker did it.
Well,
For the entirety of Puerto Rico.
That was trending on Twitter, by the way, after he won. Bisexual Undertaker was like a top trend.
well, it turns out we got both versions this night, but who would have thought? And
Yeah.
But the thing with Priest and what I love about this, moreover, is that you know that Punk and Drew are gonna fight. You know that Punk and Seth are gonna fight, and you know that Seth and Drew are still gonna have some level of animosity there, but you don't know where that's headed for everyone, because I think Seth is gonna end up turning before too long here. But
Well, Sean, I do have some bad news for you. We're probably looking at a triple threat at Backlash.
No, we aren't.
Maybe, but I think they're going to take their time with it. I think they know they've got some value in the singles matches before any of this goes down. But the fact that this is now not shackled by a title is on the line makes this feud mean something, because personally, this feud doesn't need a championship to sell. You know, you've got it in the angle itself. So I really love this idea, because Damian Priest can do different things with the belt, but you can keep all of those guys in the mix while still keeping their feud fresh and durable. So I'm all for this. This was a really well structured means to keep the angle that you're trying to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the other thing, too, is that, like, Drew McIntyre is going to have to wrestle against CM Punk. Hopefully CM Punk's recovery is going better than expected, because he got physical in this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that sounds like that's what, you know, from the interview that he had with Helwani, it sounded like he was in very good shape. You know, so who knows just how long it's going to take before Punk comes back. It may be shorter than we anticipate.
The other thing, too, is that, like, Drew, I really hope they do re-sign him. I mean, they should have re-signed him at this point, because they're doing Clash of the Castle in Scotland later in the summer, and that show is going to be built around Drew, and hopefully he's around by then.
I don't see them getting rid of Drew McIntyre. I don't see him
I don't
leaving.
see it either. After this run,
Well, it's not about him it's not about them getting rid of him, it's him staying.
I don't see him going anywhere. I think they put a lot of stake in this Drew McIntyre and this heel turn and this run. And I don't see him leaving. Unless there's some level of, like, because TNA and WWE may or may not be working together because they're owned by the same parent company now, unless Drew goes down to fight Moose and the Moose people, you know, and just takes some time to learn a new TNA hold and come back, I don't see Drew going anywhere. I really don't. I think they're going to re-sign him. It's just talking parameters and what's and where's, but there's too much value in Drew to get rid of him and have him leave.
But speaking of that interview with Ariel Helwani that CM Punk had, just a quick side tangent. We're going to talk about those other people real quick. In response to that interview, apparently on Dynamite in a couple days, they're going to air the footage between CM Punk and Jack Perry. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
We already talked about it last night.
So you should have been here, bro. No,
What was that word?
No, I think personally it would be a great angle if done by competent hands. But
it's done by incompetent buffoons.
Yeah.
Nothing but straight up buffoonery.
that's basically it. Under competent hands you could work with that, but instead it's going to be a hatch slashery.
Hey guys, you want to see CM Punk choke out a child?
Here we go. And apparently, but let's move on, shall we? It's the 6-man street fight with the Final Testament, Authors of Pain, and Karrion Kross against the Street Profits and Bobby Lashley. And they introduced two people beforehand, and these two people are the only reason I enjoyed this. Bubba Ray Dudley is referee, and Snoop Dogg on commentary. And while he is no Titus O'Neil, Snoop Dogg was arguably better.
Snoop Dogg made me laugh so hard so many different times. Oh, man.
It was at the point where I could not have cared what was going on in the ring, but I wanted to hear Snoop react to it.
Yeah.
The fact that we have Gin and Juice playing at WrestleMania.
You know, Skyler, I'm going to challenge you here because you said when I pitched to a wonderful plug for AB Production CT, you said that you were very offended that they called Lil Wayne the greatest rapper of all time. I will tell you, on this night, Snoop Dogg went out there and just proved it without having to say a damn word other than the ones that he chose. Because he did the rhyme at the end before he left, and I was like, oh, see, right there. Right there. That was more competent and had more fun wordplay than anything Lil Wayne attempted to say high and drunk on cough syrup. So
I don't think Lil Wayne was singing or rapping the night before. I think he was just trying to summon a demon.
Yeah, cough syrup.
I mean, that's what mumble rap basically is.
But just some highlights.
The dude looks like if snot took human form.
Yeah. Well, just a few highlights of this match. Most of it is just I wrote down what Snoop said. That was it. Like, somebody gets into the steel stage, is like, oh, that's a Metallica hit. and then the Bobby Lashley, the Street Profits. I think I think it was the Final Testament. They all have kendo sticks and they're all attacking Bobby Lashley, and all three of them are hitting him. And Snoop says, "And no help. That's what it's all about."
My favorite line of his was when B-Fab and Scarlett, they were fighting, and Snoop Dogg was like, if I was in a fight, I would want my girl involved too. No.
It's just...
You know what? You're not wrong.
He was so classic. And then I forget what the spot was, but even he was like, man, call the police. And I was like, there you go. Titus's spirit lives on.
Yeah.
And...
Which, by the way, I did skip this match because I could not watch this.
Oh, boo! Boo to you, sir. This
Honestly,
was fun.
I wish that I wish that I could just listen to the audio and not have the video.
I mean, that's kind of basically what this match was. It wasn't about watching what any of these guys were doing. I had it on in the background while I was doing other stuff.
Yeah.
Oh.
This was, if not for Snoop Dogg and a Bully Ray, this would have just been Poor Bobby Lashley, the match.
Yes. Well, here's the thing.
I mean, it was still poor Bobby Lashley.
It is
the
still
match.
poor Bobby Lashley the match, but I didn't care anything about the match, and I was fully ready to not pay attention to this, but every time I tried to turn away, Snoop would say some random shit, and I'd have to come back and be like, what's he talking about? Like, it literally, he kept me in this. He kept me invested in this, and then they pushed Bubba Ray, and this tickled me. It shouldn't have, but it tickled me. Where Bubba Ray just looks and he just slowly reaches into the ref shirt pocket and pulls out glasses that have no lens in them to put them on. But that was the most involvement he had. Was that he shoved, and then the Snoop Profits did their thing. But the fact that Bubba was just directing traffic on this made it way more palatable instead of him actually doing his thing, I think.
My favorite part of the whole match, though, I nearly fell out of bed laughing when they tried to put Karrion Kross on the table and it fucking broke.
And everyone said boo, and then they were just like, well...
Well, there's 15 more tables, so let's just get another one and try again.
Bubba's like, just go get another one. So they just got another one, and they just did it again.
I died. That was so funny.
Did you see how much more gingerly Karrion Kross was laid on that table? They were
all like, don't break this one.
Don't move your weight. We're just going to ease you up onto this table.
Yeah. Like, they were putting him on the table like he was pregnant and about to give birth.
It was like a Fabergé egg.
Yes.
And
they did not want to injure the mom or the baby.
Yeah. And then they splashed it, and Snoop rapped, actually did some rhyming at the end. And it was just, I enjoyed this way more than I should have.
This was dumb as fuck, and I loved it.
Yeah, exactly. That's a perfect way to put it. This it's like the 8-man tag from last year that had Titus O'Neil on commentary. Like I do like it was unreasonably fun just because the commentary team made it so.
Yeah.
It was exactly the kind of fun. This I palated way more than the tag team ladder match the night before. That was just
I loved that match.
But then
that was my third favorite match of last night, Sean. What are you talking about?
I know, although just wait until you hear what I said on that podcast.
Remember, I am your editor. I can make you sound funny.
That's right. Well, you wouldn't be doing more damage than I already am. Ah!
Self-deprecating. Then we get a Paul Heyman interview. He mentions Brandy, which was great. And then we move on to this next match. And so far I was having fun. And I'm like, all right, we're doing it here today. Then we get AJ Styles versus LA Knight, and I missed the first 30 seconds of this because I had to put my laundry into the dryer.
You weren't the only person who missed good chunks of this match. Apparently a lot of the crowd also missed a lot of this match because for the second time now, they decided to blind half the crowd with lights during an AJ Styles match.
Yeah, they really don't want people seeing his great work.
Why?
The eclipse came out 24 hours early.
Apparently.
He's the man from the moon. He does what he wants. And that's a reference for you.
Can I just say that I like the fact that LA Knight still drives the Slim Jim car and is the Slim Jim ad person?
Even though, according to Sean, Slim Jims are ass, that car is dope, though.
The car and the commercials are great, and LA Knight is great. I just think the product itself is painful for stomachs. It's gastrically bad. It makes me so bad at actual coming up with words and phrases that I come up with.
It's a meat diarrhea stick, honestly.
Yeah.
They should put that on like the box. Just a quote from Sean: "It's gastrointestinally ... bad."
Yeah, that's the truth. But
what do you guys think of AJ Styles' new theme song?
Garbage.
I liked it.
I don't mind it.
I liked it, but they cut it off because they had a hot start, and I was like, oh, I wanted to hear more.
My issue with this is that Def Rebel is not very good.
Yeah, they need to go get their hearing checked. But
Yeah.
No, I don't.
I have a question for you, Sean.
What's that?
Does LA Knight throw the best punches?
His punches are pretty good. His punches.
But, I mean, is he the best? Is he the best puncher? And all these punches that he was throwing was great. Everything he was doing was tight. He could fly. He was the total package, honestly.
I think that he is the most consistently good punches. I think that Roman Reigns gives a very good punch when he's motivated to. I think Drew gives one of the best punches still. But
my one thing about LA Knight, in this match in particular, AJ Styles worked on the leg a lot, and there was a point where LA Knight was doing his comeback and he just kind of stopped selling the leg.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh.
Well, but Seth Rollins has done that too, so like.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna.
They've all done it.
Yeah.
But this was well paced. I liked how it was a hot start, but AJ slowed it right down. But LA Knight, I mean, to his credit, he's still over like Rover, man.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, people still really like LA Knight, and I think they still want him somewhere of prominence, which I think we're going to be able to get much more of now. But there was a lot of stuff that was pulled out of the wheelhouse here that I didn't expect, like AJ's face planter from the back suplex, which is an oldie but a goldie.
New York.
And
Please get
that's another really good one.
Just think about it.
They had that huge German that they had the huge German. Hello, Skyler.
Sorry, again, chores.
But they had but they're moving along. I love that they took some stuff out of the wheelhouse here. They actually did a face planter from the back suplex, which AJ's done for a long time, but I haven't seen him do it in ages.
That's the most brutal looking one I've ever seen. Like, the bump that LA took for that was nice.
Oh yeah, everybody's selling was really on point today. And then, I didn't really have a ton to say about this one because I was just enjoying it. Just coming back and forth.
That leap up into the super German suplex was ridiculous.
Yeah, that gigantic German and a half.
Yeah.
Where they get the extra half a rotation and AJ lands on his stomachi.
Yeah, and hip, kind of.
But then they when they were starting to work on the leg, did you like AJ Styles' drop kick into the knee, into the ring post?
Oh, I loved that. That was great.
And I was actually really surprised here in match 3 to see the pads coming off of the floor, but I was here for it. And then AJ stepped. Well, you know what I loved about this match the most? It's like, what a sign of like the way that people look at AJ Styles as the man who always is honorably the most technically gifted and ready to be in the ring and always wants to get the pin, babyface or heel. And he was ready to accept the count out with LA Knight.
Mm-hmm.
It was a small thing, but I really enjoyed it. And then, when LA, goes to make their comeback, and this was like, contrary to the rest of the show, which was like Finisher City, this was one where nobody could hit any of them, and only one of them did it, and won the match with it.
Counters and counters, trying to go for the finisher, the reversal, I loved it. And then it was one and done.
Yeah. And that made it stand out so much differently than everything else on the show, which I really appreciated from that. And this was exactly what you wanted and exactly what you needed for LA Knight. He needed a landmark win against an established guy like AJ Styles who can put on a great matchup with him and keep the momentum going while there's so many more stars that were in danger of really overshadowing him and keeping him out of the mix altogether. This is exactly what he needed to remain in the mix. Exactly what it needed to be. Happy Sponge.
Yes, I agree. It would have been better if the middle portion of the match kind of got ruined for me a little bit because of the fans chanting, "We can't see, turn off the fucking light." I wish that they could have fixed that, but other than that, if that's the only problem, then that's a good thing.
It's going to be interesting to see how LA Knight figures into a post-Roman Reigns world because it's very clear that he should be a world champion at some point. It's just a matter of who he's going to go after.
I think there's a great guy that if he gets drafted to Raw, because you know they're going to have the draft here pretty soon. If LA Knight gets drafted to Raw, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some LA Knight versus Damian Priest matches, and it might be world. I would expect that he'll be winning the World Heavyweight title before he wins the WWE title. That's just my guess.
I still think he's the one to take the U.S. title off Logan Paul. That's my prediction.
Also possible. Also definitely possible. But the fact that they still have the faith in him. You could see that. They still have the faith in him. And that brings me some joy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're moving
It's so weird. It's so weird being so positive about a wrestling show.
It is. Like, we're actually moving right along here. We're already halfway through the show and we haven't even hit the 1 hour mark.
Because honestly, when you're talking about something that's good, you have less to say than when you're picking it apart, limb by limb, cranny by cranny, and nook by nook.
Yeah, totally.
Like if we were watching an AEW show, for example.
Well, that show also goes on for about 48 hours.
Yeah.
So,
right. It's just go in, do your match, get out, do the Hall of Fame. Let's see all the Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
Yep. And
Which I did forget that Paul Heyman has his own theme, but he never uses it. So.
And they used to use this theme for the it was the ECW theme and the WWE CW theme, but it's been a long ass time since they used it.
Exactly my point.
oh yeah.
We have 3 agreements.
You good, LA Knight? You good with that joint? Yeah.
Excuse me.
Dude, Sean is what would happen if LA Knight and Snoop Dogg had a baby.
Yeah. It's me and Abizzle.
You're welcome for that mental image.
Well, you know what?
Can I say it was good to see Gerald Briscoe?
It was great to see Gerald Briscoe. But hold on. Oh boy. Okay.
If you need some CPR, give me a hell yeah. Hell yeah.
No, I'm okay.
We need to mouth to mouth. Give me a hell
I'm
yeah.
okay. No, I want to go back. To what JoshAgeddon said a second ago, that I'm basically if LA Knight and Snoop Dogg had a baby. Yeah, but it's not true. Because, in fact, there is a dynamic duo that is basically LA Knight and Snoop Dogg in terms of talent and quality all across the board, and that is Abizzle and White Knux, 2 industry-busting artists ready to take the world by storm and have been already. As you know, the Court Martial Podcast has been slowly but steadily gaining subscribers, and we thank you, every one of you, for hopping along and joining the Court Martial Podcast, as well as Colonial Impact Wrestling, which has been gaining viewers thanks to TAW Gaming. Link is in the description for all of those things, as well as the music game Abizzle OG. The link in the description. He has been doing what have been called loop days, where he has been building loops and freestyling to them and using the loop machine. If you've ever seen somebody like Mark Rebier or someone like that, it's kind of like that, but we add our own little spin to it. We've been doing a lot of that. We have all of the albums on Spotify and iTunes or Apple Music or Apple Tunes and iMusic and iHeartRadio. We are actually on iHeartRadio. It's all there. The SoundCloud, where it has a whole different set of anthology. There's also stuff coming up later in the year, so stay tuned for that. We've got a lot going on in a lot of different places. The empire always grows, and the empire always knows. And if you think that we don't know, that you know, we will come and fucking find you. Come join the entertainment revolution with AB Productions CT. I mean it. Now,
Sean, you missed one. We also do Super Jam Session version 2. Go subscribe to that. We have more videos planned. One in particular that is going to be a lot of fun that I'm not going to spoil. It's one that they tried to do commentary for, but technology was technology, so we're going to try again, damn it!
That's right. It's going to be funny, and we're going to see, that's part of why I'm coughing it up here and having myself a good time, is I'm trying to forget that whole match happened so I can be organically ready to watch it again. But meanwhile,
Sean, I love it when you're organic.
Well, It's better organic than Ortega, and there's something about Ortega that makes me think of Randy Orton. And speaking of Randy Orton, it is the United States Championship. Logan Paul versus...
That may be the single worst transition
Oh, yeah.
you have ever tried.
No, I didn't try. I did. Or do not. There is no try.
Stop.
I was just talking in
Enough.
I was talking in Yoda.
We get it. Yoda's green. You're smoking weed. There's green everywhere. Philadelphia. I get it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I didn't even think about Philadelphia, but you're right. You're right about all of that.
Anyways, it's the triple threat
triple
United
threat
States Championship match. Logan Paul, the defending champion, versus Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. This prime truck bottle thing was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Him just shooting the prime bottle at the WrestleMania sign.
I loved Logan Paul filming himself on his phone, and my God, I love watching HD in 420p.
Let me ask you something. Did Logan Paul of the multimedia mogul forget to log into the Wi-Fi?
No, I think he was just recording himself with a fucking flip phone.
Yeah, but like, no.
I'm not gonna lie,
way.
that would be the most social media thing, to log into the Wi-Fi of a stadium, and that Wi-Fi being absolute ass. Imagine if he just filmed it on CenturyLink's Wi-Fi.
Or you're
I've
publicly
never seen
sharing a
70
network with 75,000 people. You think that connection's gonna be any good at all?
I've never seen so many pixels.
Yeah, okay. I'm glad I was not the only one that happened to. I'm like, did something happen to my... Like, I thought I was gaslit. I thought it was my laptop. I was like, oh, is my laptop messed up? And then they go to the next shot. I'm like, oh. Okay.
I love me and Sean had the same exact reaction. Oh, it's just the stadium Wi-Fi sucks ass.
Well, I will have to say, I do like this tie-in with Sammy and Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
Back and forth. I do think that was a really good add to this. And I think this actually helped me come to terms with Sami Zayn being the Intercontinental Champion, because seeing him with the belt is still natural, because I remember that he, during his weird Cuba wearing outfit days,
When he was a member of the Detroit Manifesto.
when he was just like a complete conspiracy theorist, he was the Intercontinental Champion, and he was actually a decent one.
Mm-hmm.
In a time that we did not like the look of the belt, and then, what was it, Nakamura won it?
Yep.
And then it was like, nah. But in any case, this match...
And then Kevin Owens gets a golf cart.
This was okay. This was straight up ridiculous. But I love how this tied into the rest of the match, so I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
So,
Well, the suck it part was funny.
well,
Okay. My favorite thing about this is Randy Orton. There was a point in Shawn Michaels' career near the end of it where he was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just going to have fun and just fuck around and dick around.
that's where he
Randy
is.
Orton has absolutely embraced, you know what, I've been doing this for 20 fucking years. I'm going to have fun and just dick around. I don't give a shit anymore, Randy Orton. He's so funny.
Oh,
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of wish that Randy Orton, while he was being driven down, did his pose. I know why he didn't, but...
well, I didn't want him flying off the back. That would have been an all-time WrestleMania moment. If
It
Roman...
would have been an accidental bump.
Yeah, oh man. Randy Orton, they just go over a couple of cables, boom, 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 and Orton's posing and he just falls backwards.
It would have been...
No, Randy Orton falls forward like Titus O'Neil and ends up underneath the ring.
I was about to say the same thing.
Well, he would have had to have defied the laws of physics there, but yeah. But the laws of physics don't apply, just like the old laws of WWE don't apply. And
then they show like 50 nerds in a TV room in Germany.
dude, they did that both
For no-
nights. And they were just like, and here's some marks. Woo! I loved Mark Camp. That was good.
The International Mark Brigade.
How good to have the International Mark Brigade for this United States Championship match.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I didn't even think about that.
All three of these fuckers are from North America. Let's show these fuckers from Europe.
Here's some Germans.
Here's some just pro wrestling fan-loving Germans.
You know what?
And during the Intercontinental title match with, an Austrian and a Canadian, here are some non-Austrian, non-Canadian marks over here from this hemisphere.
Oh, man.
I just imagine if they're like, okay, now we're going to show the marks from New Zealand. Now we're going to show the marks from South Africa, and then the marks from Brazil.
Here are some Antarctican marks. They're as cold as we were last night.
You just show a group of penguins. And then they're like, all right, that was a joke. They're all like, okay, that was just a little joke from us, but, we're having a good time here,
Anyway, so we meet this triple threat where Kevin Owens and Randy Orton team up on Logan Paul.
I'm never going to be able to get the image of penguins going, yeah, wrestling out of my head.
The penguins light the tables on fire and go for him.
They're going nuts. They're throwing baby penguins in the air.
Choke slamming the baby.
They really love Cody Rhodes. They really love Cody Rhodes. Anyway.
Igloos in my soul. Really cold down here.
Oh, man.
Well,
I will have to say,
his way to the ring.
should we discuss the match, actually? So,
Yes.
I do really like this opening part where Randy Orton and Kevin Owens are just beating the holy hell out of Logan Paul, and Logan Paul pushes Kevin Owens into Randy Orton and goes, "You two fight." And Orton looks at Kevin Owens, and Kevin's like, "He pushed me. He pushed you? He pushed me. Oh, okay. Let's keep beating him up."
And Logan was like, "No!"
That was
Ow!
Well, how often does that happen? Because usually then they start doing a crappy hockey fight and spill out onto the floor. Instead, they're like, logic. There's logic here.
They were not victims of dumb babyface syndrome.
Oh, yet.
Yet. But
Because they beat up Logan Paul for a little bit more, and then Randy Orton tries to RKO Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens like, "Are we fighting now?" And he's like, "Yeah, we're fighting now." And then they do the hockey fight.
yeah, but it was kind of, I still like, for some reason, I still enjoyed the idea of like, oh, is it time to like, we're going to do this. I know we're going to do this. Are we doing it now? No. Okay. And then Orton turns around to RKO him, and Kevin Owens is like, "No, I'm actually stupid. Who am I talking to here?" Like, and the look on Kevin Owens' face just got me. He's just like, "All right, I'm an idiot." That was.
I want to see.
Well, and the best part that Randy Orton's like, I'm a snake.
Yeah, I kind of punt people for a living.
Yeah, it's like, "Sorry, I'm still me," and he's like, "Oh, okay."
I want to see a buddy cop movie with Kevin Owens
and Randy Orton. Yes, that'd be great.
That would be hilarious. They have such comedic chemistry.
Get on it, WWE Films. Get on it.
But now that like dynamic went out of the way, then we got a proper triple threat match.
Yeah, and I will have to say I did really enjoy the match up to that point, and this was fun. I didn't really get bothered by it until kind of near the end, but it still kept its pace, but it never really felt like it broke down into the, all right, we're going to fight now, and now you're going to sell, and we're going to fight now, and you're going to sell, and we're going to fight now. It kept moving well enough where everyone was actively in it at a movable pace, if that makes sense. Like, it didn't feel like it was very blocky, as some triple threat matches sometimes do.
There was one thing that kind of bothered me. Not like ruined the match, or I thought was a massive negative. Kevin Owens nearly crippled Logan Paul with that really cool out of the corner twisting brainbuster. He accidentally turned it into a out of the corner twisting fisherman jackhammer. I screamed.
Yeah. But I think actually Kevin Owens saved whatever had degenerated, because it kind of, to me, it looked like it ended up being more of like a half World's Strongest Slam.
Yeah.
And
that scared the shit out of me.
But it felt like Kevin Owens did his best to like protect Logan in that situation, you know, to get that where it was. Like, I thought, to the credit of Kevin Owens, that whatever it was, it wasn't, but whatever it ended up being was still safe enough. You know?
Yeah, but having said that, that spot where he does the double cannonball to Randy Orton and Logan Paul, and he does the two DX chops.
Who's booking, buddy?
Again, I'm not going to be like ruin the show off of this, but I'm just like, okay, we know who this is going forward. We know what they're going to do.
Well, think of the alternative. It used to be Mark Henry and Mae Young giving birth to hands and Trish barking like a dog. Now it's just some crotch chops and some occasional pedigrees.
And some cosplayers.
Yeah.
And 20 pedigrees.
Yeah, it's pedigrees.
That never win anything.
Yeah, that the pedigrees and crotch chops that never win anything. You know what? If that's the worst we gotta deal with, fine.
I'll take it.
Fine.
I would sign my life away on that. I'm good.
It's whatever. But I understand that is gonna get tiresome very quickly if it keeps happening. I'm not disagreeing with you on that. But
that's the thing, is that, like, I'm okay with this being WrestleMania extra large, but don't do it again.
But Logan Paul is such an amazing heel.
Yes.
He's so unnaturally good at this.
Mm-hmm.
I loved the Swanton counter, and then it ended up being the Swanton into the baby splash.
Yeah, that was good. That was great.
That was really fun. And the code
at this point with Logan Paul in a Roman Reigns-less like era, he's gonna be a world champion in the next 3 years.
Well, he's signed full time. He's doing this. That's the thing about Logan Paul. It's not like he's coming and going now. He's doing this. And if you're doing this, and he's way more talented than the last one that we've had in this kind of position. I think it's worth it. At this point, I think Logan Paul would be a good world's champion. I can't believe I'm saying that, but he is that good.
I'd buy it.
I would too.
Are you going to buy his bottle of Primes?
I tried one. I tried a lemonade, and it was very chemically.
I want to try one at some point, eventually. Maybe.
Yeah,
yes.
It's meh. It's just meh. That's all I can say.
The one thing I will also say is that they had a very good time, because this was a triple threat match, doing double team moves, like Logan Paul's senton on Kevin Owens into a rolling thunder on Randy Orton, or Kevin Owens doing that code breaker senton on Logan Paul and Randy Orton. Like, there's a lot of good triple threat double tag team moves that they did.
Jericho was named in there, and then did the Leonardo DiCaprio meme sitting in Tampa, Florida.
Yeah. They mentioned that I love that they kept continuity with Kevin Owens' first U.S. title win at WrestleMania 33 against Jericho.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. That was it. That was what they mentioned.
They mentioned Chris Jericho. They mentioned Sasha Banks. They mentioned Edge. They mentioned people because it's their history, and they don't care.
Bucks. They pictured the actual Bucks.
They showed Kenny Omega.
But in any case, speaking of
the reason why I'm bringing it up is because I'm not used to this company. Like, I'm used to them. Like, okay, if it happened longer than 2 months ago, what are you talking about? What happened? I don't remember. It's weird.
Or if it happens outside the company.
Yeah, I'm not used to them, actually having this much continuity.
Yeah, it's very refreshing. It's all very refreshing. But then that Kevin Owens moonsault. Oh.
Gorgeous.
My God. It's
Best
the one
moonsault of the night.
It's the one that Kurt Angle always almost hit.
Yeah.
but Kevin Owens actually hit it.
But Perk Owens actually hit it.
Yeah.
And he had the wherewithal to not attempt to try and do a moonsault to a standing person.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Definitely. No, this is but then we get to the brass knucks part of this, and here's my one issue with this match. I hate the no disqualification feature of triple threat matches, where nothing happened because of this. You know, you'd still throw the match out in a triple threat if you use brass knucks right in front of the referee, but not in WWE, you don't. But they do the punch.
Oh, well.
They do the punching, and it doesn't work. And I do really like one of the shots they did where Kevin Owens is on the outside and Orton and Logan Paul are in the ring, and they go from like around the post, and they get to the from the left-hand side of the post to the right-hand side of the post, and then you see Kevin Owens appear on the right-hand side of the shot, so you get all three of them in one. It was really creatively done. Like, well done, Dungaree. Lee Fitting. I have to say, that was impressive.
I love when Randy Orton got control of the brass knucks, and he was like, I don't need these. I have a leg.
Yeah.
And then everyone.
And he gave them Knux to the referee and said, "Hold this."
Yeah, and everyone was like, "Oh shit!" And the commentators were like, "He's killed people with this before." and then
that's the way they've sold it for years.
Yeah, but then we get to the one part of the match. I didn't mind the whole triple threats are always no DQ with the brass knucks. That didn't bother me. What bothered me was having. As soon as I saw the Prime Energy mascot, I was like, are they running the KSI thing back from
No,
last
it was
year?
mini KSI.
It was this other dude that I had never heard of before. And I'm like...
I think this kind of shows our age in that we have no idea who the hell this guy is.
It's not even that. I knew who KSI was last year. My problem is it's the same gimmick.
But no, it wasn't. Because this dude was clearly on some Prime shit. Because he started barking at Randy Orton.
Yeah. And then Randy Orton was like, "This is Sparta," and scooted the shit out of him.
This is why I didn't mind this at all. First of all, who the hell is this dude? He's barking at Randy Orton for no reason.
It's the Viper versus the dog.
And then Orton's just like, I hate this shit on my program. Just took the hell out. And
then put him on the announce table, and again, Randy Orton, like, looks him eye to eye, and then RKO. What? When he did that, I was like, all right, you know what? I'm fine with this. It's a repeat
I don't
of last
need
year.
to know why it happened, but I'm just happy it happened.
It was dumb as fuck, but I loved it.
But then Corey Graves puts the icing on the cake, and he says, wow, we might need some medical out here.
Can we get this dog some medical?
That's what cemented the whole thing. I was like, that was...
Take him to the vet!
That was
We're gonna lose him!
Perfect. Where do you send a bottle to the recycling? No, I get
Why is this bottle barking at me? What do they put in this energy drink?
Fuck medical. Get the custodian out there. Get one of those big laundry basket bins and pump this dude in it.
Did the FDA approve this shit?
Oh, man. And then the finish.
Randy Orton hits Kevin Owens with an RKO. Logan Paul gets in there, throws him out of the ring.
He did not hit him with an RKO. He hit him with I was hoping, like 30 seconds before it happened, I was like, what if he throws him for the pop-up powerbomb and Randy Orton, like, pop-up RKOs him as a counter? And then he did it. I'm damn near ejaculated. And then Logan Paul does a perfect toe-touch frog splash.
He looked like Jesus from the Mad Nation touching the top of the chamber.
Good reference.
Yeah.
Good reference.
Oh, God.
He got so high.
Yeah, I love this match.
And no, absolutely. And I thought the finish was great, but you know me, guys. I would have still loved the one-on-one But
I
this
would
was
have preferred this being Randy Orton and Logan Paul one-on-one, but I cannot complain about what we got.
exactly. That's exactly what I said. Like, for what we got, I'm really not bitching because I ended up having more fun watching this than I thought I would. And,
We need more wrestling where it's a good match where dumb, funny shit just happens.
well, you need the right kind of people to pull that off.
Yes.
If it were any other three people, we may not have looked upon this as fondly. But with these three, it worked. And so the next match was the Women's Championship. Io Sky versus Bayley. And a lot of San Jose talk, so I'm going to let the San Jose man with the San Jose plan tell us about the female from Egyptistan. I'm killing it with these transitions today.
That was painful.
That
was really painful.
Oh yeah.
I
thought you said you were a rapper, not a
wordsmith.
Hey, well,
I was gonna say something else, but I'm not gonna say that.
listen, well, not every blacksmith makes perfect daggers every time that they weld and meld and quench, you know.
I was gonna say Baleopatra, but
I don't get this Egyptian thing. Like, I don't know. Also, like, they couldn't give her a throne. Like, they had just 4 random, really buffed up guys carry her.
Really buffed up oily dudes carry
It was the Egyptian graphic, and she came out with furries. So I don't know what demographic we're aiming for here with this one. But
Bailey's on that weird shit.
hey, I'm not knocking it. I'm not saying there's a problem with that. I'm just saying I'm not sure what the demographic was for this. But she came out.
Well, we know the demographic for Io Sky, which is people who attend raves.
Well, this was the most minimal eye makeup I've seen as far as wingtips go. Because Bayley just had a little tip. Just a little tip. Not a big tip. But I'm proud of the restraint done by the makeup team. Except, Asuka did her deal. Here's the thing. I'm really glad that this remained basically a one-on-one match the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't expect that. I expected shenaniganery. And there was not so much of it. It was actually quite a good match, top to bottom. Your thoughts,
Agreed.
Josh?
Well, they were saving the shenaniganery for the match after.
They had more than enough shenaniganery in the main event.
Yes, agreed. But still, you know this company as well as I do, gentlemen, or at least the old administration. They would not be able to help themselves.
I honestly thought this match was fantastic. I know that you have preference for the Becky Lynch-Rhea Ripley match, which was also quite good.
I do.
This was my favorite women's match of the weekend. I loved this match. Although I will say there was one thing I hated. Can you guess what this thing that I hated was?
Samantha Irvin.
There were 2 things that I hated. The main thing that I hated was this. Hey, we want some Bailey. Ooh, I want to know. You want to be my... Shut the fuck up!
They couldn't. They could
I
not.
hate that fucking goddamn
I know you do.
cock-sucking,
I know you
fucking chant.
I know.
It's the fucking worst chant in the history of chants.
No, there have been worse.
Fuck you.
We want
I
Adam.
disagree. Fuck you, I disagree.
We want Adam.
I would rather listen to that. I would rather them chant Sean is a word that I probably can't say on this show. I would rather that.
I would love to hear them condense that into 3 syllables with claps. But
that annoyed the shit out of me the entire match.
well,
Other than that,
Here's the thing, okay? Like, Io Sky, kind of just like Rhea Ripley, is a victim of the fact that the women's division does not have enough quality women so that she can regularly be featured in women's title defenses.
yeah.
yeah.
I also think not being able to cut majorly memorable promos doesn't help.
I mean,
That's why they have Dakota Kai as their mouthpiece.
Right.
I think that's part of why they decided to give it to Bayley, because Bayley can talk.
Right, and that's no knock or necessarily or criticism on Io Sky, but it almost makes me think that Io Sky needs a manager / person to also do some of the talking for her, because she's terrific. She's actually terrific. I've enjoyed all of this. It was greatly paced. Bayley's knee gets tweaked. That becomes, the huge thing. I loved when Io Sky jumped off the barricade and it was almost like a Bayley to belly counter on the outside.
That was ridiculous.
Which was really cool. Then we get a Charlotte certified moonsault from Io Sky. But
this was better than any moonsault Charlotte's ever.
Yes,
done.
Barely.
There was 40% connection compared to Charlotte's 5% connection.
Well, remember the last one we saw Charlotte give? Remember who got beamed in
the one
face?
that nearly crippled Io Sky.
Yeah.
the one that nearly rendered Io Sky catatonic.
Yes, that exact one.
The reason why Io got shorter after that show.
That exact one. Well, I don't know that. I'm not a doctor, but yeah, maybe.
She lost a couple inches, I guarantee you.
Well, she definitely took quite a few to the brain.
Yeah.
But then we get the sunset bomb into the turnbuckle, which was quite stiff, I thought.
Yeah.
But snug, very, very nicely done. They were doing a really good job with it. And Io's SDF looks better than John's.
Yep.
Barely.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
It might be barely, but it is.
Can we just retire the STF as a move? Nobody does it right.
Well, nobody loses or wins with it either. There was a lot of John Cena ejaculation. And I'm not going to attempt it with my track record today, but John Cena ejaculation. Somebody make something out of that. Anyway, it's you
won't be able to see it.
You're right. But the Bayley to belly with the roll through I did see, and I do have to give credit to Io Sky. This Tiger Driver backbreaker or Fisherman backbreaker, whatever you want to call this, with the double wing that almost resembled a pedigree. Really loved that. That looked vicious.
Yeah. Oh, that was gnarly.
And
the crowd reaction to it was nice as well.
Well, the crowd was into this, man. I didn't know whether the crowd would care because of Io Sky. I really didn't. And
I wish that they had a chant for Bayley that wasn't the most annoying thing about that chant is it's such a long chant.
Yeah.
It's an entire stanza.
It is. And I blame the Brits because they're the ones who started doing this kind of stuff.
I'm glad the Revolutionary War happened. Continue.
That was... Anyway, Cody would agree with you, actually.
Yeah. Why do you think I'm glad he won?
So, then we get into the best part of this match, which was that Bayley tries to do the rose plant. It's no-sold, but it was a handspring, and Io Sky kind of stood up and was like, yes, thank you. Go fuck yourself. And
that counter was so ridiculous.
Yeah. That was very cool.
That was nuts.
But then finally actually hitting the rose plant. 1, 2, 3. Bayley is the champion. Skyler, tell us how you feel.
I feel happy.
How else do you feel?
Can you further
Listen. I know people are gonna underrate Bayley because of the 4 horsewomen and the 3 left in WWE.
We know who number 4 is. Come on.
She's with those other people. She doesn't count anymore.
That's right. She doesn't count her money.
I hear that she moans a lot. So.
Yes.
Anyways, the thing is that because Bayley is not the flashy one of the horsewomen, she's not going to get her due because everyone's going to be like, look at Becky's promos and look at Charlotte's face and look at Sasha's promos and all the fun stuff they do in their matches or whatever.
Look at Charlotte's face. Which one?
Yes.
All of them. Every last one.
And Bayley has done a lot already in what has been a very long and very prestigious career. But this was kind of like the one thing that she was missing from her career because she had never won a title at WrestleMania. Which when I heard that stat, I couldn't believe it. But then I looked back on it, yeah, she hasn't. So to see her get a title win in a very good match at WrestleMania, nobody else deserves it like her.
Exactly. She's retained a title at WrestleMania twice, but she's never won one. And she absolutely deserved it, and it was a great moment. Although, at the time, it further added to our dread and fear and terror.
Yes.
Did it, though?
Sean apparently nearly had a stroke because it was like, guys, too many championships are changing hands.
No, I was genuinely afraid all night. And it got worse and worse as the night progressed because I'm like, all right, this is good. This is really good. This is good. This is good. This is quite good. Oh, shit, this is really good. Oh, no, we're changing this title, too. Wait a minute. What's happening here? And I was genuinely like, okay, they've set this up to be maybe one of the most perfect WrestleManias they've ever had. Time to ruin it. Right?
We were just waiting for them to pull the rug out from underneath.
Right? They said this show can't miss. Or can it? And then they showed T-Pain, and I thought that was the most ironic person they could have put up there. Because I'm used to Pain coming in the main event.
I have a question. Who is T-Pain?
He is a terrific man. He is a man you should look up. He is a entrepreneur of sorts.
He's a rapper.
Oh, so no, I don't care.
He's like an R&B rapper, though. He's not just a rapper.
Does his rapping sound like this?
No.
Okay.
Nothing like that.
Also, for the second night in a row, George Kittle got booze.
Which I thought was really funny. I was like, yeah, you should have had him do something here. Like this
he played it off well. He played it off well.
No, he was like...
And then he also got booed at last year's WrestleMania 2 in L.A.
I know.
They showed Lily Singh, and I booed.
That's what I mean. If he wants to train, he's got a look. He could do a thing. It would be a lot better than what Jason Kelsey and Lane Johnson did.
He could be in a Royal Rumble, Wayne.
Maybe.
Shut up.
Maybe.
Shut up.
Maybe.
I'm your editor. I can make you sound weird.
I don't know what you're talking about. That's the second time you've used the same threat, but it's main event time.
Yeah.
It's Romani Renzuno Delgado versus Cody Romero Cheese for the title. The big one. All of
mustard.
it. And this truly was the all or nothing match. No matter what had come up before it, this was the match. It had to come to this. We said it all month. For the past 2 months, they have to stick the landing, and it was all dependent on this right here. And while I replied to my lady, I will say not only did they stick the landing, they stuck the whole damn airport. JoshAgeddon, break it down.
Dude, I was so nervous coming into this. I was absolutely convinced that they were just this was going to be them saying, we like Cody, but he's not our guy. You know what I'm saying? I was terrified of that. And I swear to God, if Vince was still involved, he would have lost again, 100%. But again, this is a new era, and I was convinced. And honestly, of the entire weekend, my favorite match is still the tag team match at the main event of night 1. This is my second favorite match.
Well, let's be clear about something. Like, match is one thing, but the story told was the best story that has been told in basically a decade.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, we have to go back to WrestleMania 30 when Daniel Bryan beat both Batista and Randy Orton to see a story completed with as much emotion and just pure elation at a guy winning.
Dude. Even when Daniel Bryan won at WrestleMania 30, you didn't have the ring announcer and the commentators weeping.
I mean, Michael Cole was very emotional when he called it, but this was on to a whole nother level.
This was a whole other level.
Now let's talk about this entrance because god damn it, Cody Rhodes looks like post-apocalyptic. He looked like he was in Mad Max, honestly.
If Homelander and Mad Max had a baby.
This just reminded me, I'm like, did Cody turn into Mr. Grimm? I was like,
Oh my god.
I'm like, has it been that traumatizing for Cody?
Jesus
Chasing
Christ.
this damn belt?
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it was. And
It wasn't even Mr. Grimm from the first 3 Twisted Metal games. He
No,
looked like
Twisted Metal
Captain
Black definitive
No,
specifically.
he looked like in Twisted Metal 4, they turned Mr. Grimm into a pirate. He looked like that Mr. Grimm.
Yeah, he did. You're right.
He
So
looked like
did.
Captain Grimm.
Yeah, but they
Also,
got the shot
can we
with
just-
the eye, in the skull. I'm like, that's Mr. Grimm. They shot that in every Twisted
Dude.
Metal.
Sean, you know exactly how to make me pop, dude.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
You know me too well.
Yes, I do. But you know who
Also-
else got a pop?
Randy.
Randy Rhodes. They waited until the exact right moment to pull her out. Brian Last is gonna lose his mind when he sees her out there. It is. I was actually amazingly happy to see her there. And then she left,
Think about what we're
which
saying.
was great.
Think about what we're saying. A couple years ago, we hated these two human beings.
Yes,
Especially
we did.
Brand.
Yes, we
How,
did.
how the turns have tabled.
Yeah. It's amazing what competency at the top can do.
Yeah.
It's really,
I mean, all they had to do was make sure they don't show Brandy until the very end.
yeah, folks, it really is that simple.
Yeah.
Have somebody competent as the head of your company, and that solves all the rest of the problems.
Yeah.
Genuinely. You
Don't
can try to
show us-
grasp
don't
at
show
straws
us
any
your-
way you want, but that's the bottom line.
Don't show us your
Also, we did breeze past Snoop Dogg and the Philadelphia Eagles cheerleaders.
Well, it's just numbers.
Yeah, it was just a bunch of numbers. And that one dude
But he said 420.
Yeah, he sure did.
weed.
That's basically what Pat said. He's like,
Yeah, but also, like, again, Roman Reigns' entrance, this may be his best entrance ever.
Dude, the live orchestral version of his theme song was actually better than his actual theme song. And his theme song slaps.
yeah, this was, and the first thing I wrote down is, I am so worried.
Yeah.
I was like, and you know what? I will have to say, the moment was very thick with tension. This
Oh,
was
yeah.
this really was a big fight feel.
Mhm.
This,
And even the fans were like, they were scared because
Yeah.
they were worried that it wasn't going to happen.
that's what I mean. It's like, it garnered the exact energy that this match needed.
Mm-hmm.
It also didn't help that there were reports earlier today saying that Jacob Fatu had signed with WWE. And I'm like, that's how he's going to keep the title. They're going to have a bunch of people come in and interfere, and Cody's going to look like he's going to win, and then Jacob Fatu comes down.
All Sunday was like every wrestling news report resulted in everyone going, fuck!
Yeah.
Fuck!
Yeah. Yeah, and they did it beautifully. And the thing was, they started out with some weaponry, and I thought, oh, this is going to be that kind of a match. But it wasn't, though. Once the
Yeah.
kendo stick came and went, this went right back to being a wrestling match. And they wrestled for a good...
They never touched the table again after Cody pulled it out and Roman put it back in, huh?
And the heat that Roman got for that.
That's when I knew this was special.
Yep.
I'm like,
The
Roman's
heat-
like, no, not tonight. This ain't
The
this it's
pure-
not how we're doing this.
But can I say one of my absolute favorite things in this entire match? When Roman Reigns has Cody up against the ropes and up next to the camera, he says, I'm going to send you back to Hollywood with the rest of them. This is my company, you little bitch.
Yes.
I died.
That
I
was great.
fucking died.
And then Pat said somebody's having a great time over in the corner.
Yeah. Dude, I love Roman Reigns. Like, say what you want about how long he should or should not have had this championship. he has absolutely owned the role.
Yes, and here's the thing. In the weirdest way, I mean, I was going to talk about this at the end, but, like, in the weirdest way, as much as I am so insanely happy that Cody has won this belt, I already do miss it. I already missed the title reign because it really was something special.
Yeah.
And it was frustrating at times. It was shark jumped at times, especially with Jey Uso.
Let me put it this way. When Roman Reigns first won that title, me and Andy had not met yet.
Yeah.
Like, when Roman won the title, we were still in a pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were locked down.
Insane.
They were wrestling in front of 0 people.
And to the ultimate credit of Roman Reigns, he carried the WWE through that entire time. Mm-hmm. With quality. There were some times when the only thing that was worth a damn on the entire show was what he was doing. That was a common thread, like, okay, this is working. You've got this. And then through all of the change and all of the overhaul that has gone on, actually, literally behind the company, the sale of WWE was under Roman Reigns' name.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the removal of Vince McMahon was done under Roman Reigns' name.
Both of them.
Both times. You know, the era of this Renaissance era, which I do like the sound of that, I will say. A lot more than the Paul Levesque era. I like it more than, I definitely like Renaissance era better.
Me too.
But
I've also heard the name Global Era thrown around, given the number of international pay-per-views they've been doing.
Don't believe us? Here's some marks from Canada.
It's a bunch of syrup.
No, it's just a bunch of moose people.
It's a bunch of moose people. That's where Impact is.
We're not talking about TNA. We're not talking about TNA.
Here's a bunch
but it's people from Canada watching WWE.
Well, Impact is now based in Canada. So if they go, here's a bunch of marks from Canada, and they just show TNA programming, that would actually be canon.
They show Moose riding a moose.
Oh, that'd be fun.
That's when, you know how Okada lost the world title to Kenny and he just turned into sad balloon Okada?
Yes.
What if Moose loses the Impact, the TNA title and just turns into sad double Moose?
Yeah, Moose ride, double Moose. He's eating moose on a moose. His name is Moose. Triplet Moose.
Now, I do have a criticism for Cody Rhodes.
He puts
if I may be honest.
Bald head. He's where he got foot's quadruple moose. Go ahead.
I did not like this figure 4 he did.
It doesn't beat anybody. It used to be the ultimate tribute, but now that's been replaced with pedigrees. But now it's just meh. It's there. As was the Triple H steps bump. But you know what wasn't there, gentlemen?
What?
Red undies. Somebody is listening.
Watch us.
Somebody is listening. Because we don't complain about this for 3 consecutive years. And then the night he loses the belt, he changes his fucking underwear. That's no coincidence. Somebody is listening.
It's not just that. It's the fact that he wore his pants so that they were tighter, so that way the underwear wouldn't show.
Yeah, it was... Yeah, he definitely, like, notched the belt a couple more times. But, that was...
But the fact that we got no red undies and that signified the world title change, I hate this gimmick.
I'm telling you.
Too much. You two started.
This was ultimate validation. This was ultimate validation. This is the steal of a lifetime because I'm the first one who mentioned it, and 4 years later, they actually change his fucking underwear. I swear to God. This is
amazing.
This is unreal. It's like this is not real. This is not a real matchup.
What a life we live.
Seriously, the disaster kick power bomb. You're welcome, WWE. By the way, you're totally welcome.
Dude, I've never imagined popping this hard over underwear.
Oh man, it's too good.
Well, since we're making suggestions and requests, please sign the Motor City Machine Guns.
That'd be great.
Yes.
I'm sadly think they're going to that root beer factory, but We get the disaster kick power bomb, which I thought was really nice.
Mm-hmm. They go outside for a little bit, then come back in.
Well, we do get a perfect plex first.
That was nice too.
Which was also
That's when I really
nice.
started noticing. Is this underwear black?
Yeah, the crowd. For some reason, yeah, I said the crowd is white hot, and when they get to this double clothesline, and then Roman hits Cody with a crossroads.
Dude, I lost it when Roman used the crossroads.
And
but I
one.
laughed so hard when Cody kicked out and Roman started laughing. He said, "That move don't beat nobody."
I love whooping
Cody
this
always
guy's
has
ass.
20 of them.
Yeah, he said right after that, he's like, I love whooping this guy's ass.
And he said, after I beat him, I'm gonna miss whooping his ass.
Yeah.
Roman's so good.
And again, this is the stuff that Jay and Jimmy Uso cannot do because they don't have Roman Reigns' charisma and ability to trash talk.
Even close.
They don't have near the verbiage.
No. Come on. Come
Yeah.
on. Come on.
No, Jimmy.
Well, we get a shield bomb through the table. That's relevant. Trust me.
Yep.
This was a great match so far. Cody's spear looked pretty damn good.
Yep.
It was better than Jey Uso's.
It was
Yep.
well,
Dude.
well, kind of.
Can I just say that Roman and Cody have just the chemistry these two have? I could
totally.
watch these dudes. I could watch these two wrestle forever.
Yeah.
I hope they don't.
I want to see a third match.
I think we will get one. I genuinely think we will get one.
We're so good together.
They are. But this is but here's the thing, we get the spear off the stage from Jay, who did not need music. Jimmy's the only one who comes out consistently without music. I don't think Jay needed it. I think Jay coming out on his own, that would have still gotten the pop that he got.
Yeah, but they have to announce it to the crowd that he's coming out.
Real quick, I mentioned this when I did my own recap of night one, but I'll reiterate. The quick little skirmish between Jay and Jimmy that led to the spear off the ramp was better than their entire match.
Yes, agreed.
Well, you want to know, and I said this earlier, but I'll say it again. You want to know one reason why it was so much better than their match? Because no one threw a fucking super kick.
No, yeah, they did.
No, Jay threw a super kick.
Oh, he did?
Just one.
I must have.
Just one.
But it was just one. It was just one super kick.
Yeah,
not 80
a billion.
trillion.
Yeah.
I must have. I was so over the super kick from them. I must have just blacked it out of my memory.
Well, when they get off the stage and they both go through the tables, I'm like, now that was a yeet.
Yeah.
And their match was not a yeet, but this was a yeet. But anyway, they do the barricade spot. This time it's Cody taking down Roman, which was nice. And then this picked up.
Yep.
Because here comes Solo. And Solo does this thing, and Cody kicks out. And I actually must admit, I really liked Solo and how Solo fared in this. He was maybe my favorite of the entire group that showed up in this whole debauchery. Because of what... He's getting better. He just can't talk. But he's getting better.
Well, he's not supposed to talk. He's just supposed to be a weapon.
Exactly.
He's just supposed to be the hired gun.
Exactly. So he turns around, when Cody kicks out, and he's like, "Motherfucker, what?"
And then he has to beat Cody again and go Yomanga all over him.
Yep. And then who got a nod, by the way, in the pre-show, in the discussion and the hype package. But anyway, so they do.
The only thing about this little sequence is that I would have liked it if they just kept the beat down to one time Solo helps Roman beat him down and not two.
I'll say why I did. I understand. I hear what you're saying. I do. The reason I didn't mind it is that I think they want to make sure that people remember that Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa are closer than Roman is to the Usos. Like, they have a particular team, and they've teamed before. Because I think that's going to be relevant when they introduce new people, like you mentioned before. So I think that was
fair.
why that was done. That's a guess, though. I don't know what's going to happen.
But here's the thing. after this is when the match really starts to get into the overbooked part. But this is personally where I had the most fun because here comes John Cena.
Yeah, his run to the ring made me laugh so hard.
He's like, oh,
he
shit.
looked like a bobblehead.
Yeah, he did. But here's why I loved this. This made sense why he was out here.
Mm-hmm.
And really, at the end of this, I had to think about when Seth Rollins did that really meh promo on Raw where he said, it takes all of us. It's going to take all of us to beat the Bloodline. And literally everybody came out to beat the Bloodline.
I saw this comment on a lot of other videos and clips and pictures. WrestleMania 39 was Avengers Infinity War. WrestleMania 40 was Avengers Endgame.
Yes.
And yeah, basically.
And that's the thing, is that it was going to take the Avengers in order to take down Thanos, a.k.a. Roman Reigns. Here comes Captain America, John Cena, to save the day. Again, it helps that he goes after the guy that took him out in Solo, gets a little bit of Roman, gets rid of Solo, and then here comes The Rock.
Now this was spectacular. I was like, okay, at this moment, I'm like, okay, you got me. I don't care what you do now. It's like, this is a Dusty Rhodes overbooked mess, but I'm in it. This was what Dusty was good at. Let's do it. And the stare down between The Rock and John Cena and the way this ended was the best.
Mm-hmm.
John goes for a punch. The Rock hits it with a rock bottom and goes, get the fuck out of the Rock's ring.
That's exactly what he said.
This is the funniest. I was dying. And then you couldn't hear because they had to censor like the next 2 sentences he said. I'm like, what did The Rock's going off?
I'm not going to lie, I was laughing just because I felt bad for the censor guy because for the next 2 minutes he had to turn off the mics because of The Rock swearing.
Yeah. The Rock is still pissed about twice in a lifetime.
Which added to it. It added to the moment so much. Having all of that censored out you're like, oh damn, he's going off.
By the way, the other thing too I'm gonna admit is that The Rock stole a gimmick from Seth Rollins in the "What the fuck is The Rock wearing?"
Yes,
because Rock got a bedazzled tracksuit.
Speaking of Seth Rollins' outfit,
the most normal of his outfits.
Yes. They do the Shield music. Seth Rollins comes out, but he's speared by Roman. The Rock's still in the ring, and
well, hold on. I just kind of like, for a wild and probable second, I'm like, is Dean Ambrose gonna come out here?
Dude, if Dean Ambrose would have shown his face, even though we're kind of sick and fucking tired of John Moxley, if Dean Ambrose would have just made a surprise appearance, I would have lost my fucking mind.
I wouldn't have even known how to process that.
My brain would have erupted.
I would not have known how to process that. But I'm
not gonna lie, it comes kind of sad that Seth Rollins comes out there to try and help out Cody Rhodes and gets blasted and basically does a Family Guy pose of being knocked the fuck out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he had the shit beaten out of him for 2 nights and then just gets downed again.
Yeah, he feebly tried to get back up and just got completely mowed over.
I can just imagine Seth going out to Triple H, all right, what am I doing for this main event? Triple H is like, you're going to get the shit kicked out of you.
Listen, we're going to destroy you on night 1, have you lose your title on night 2 in the first match, and then have you get beat up in the main event. And Seth Rollins, despite losing 2 main events despite losing 2 matches back-to-back at WrestleMania, the first guy to ever do that.
None of this hurts Rollins at all, either.
No, no.
He was the MVP. He was the MVP.
He was the glue that tied all of this together, really. Yeah. You know, if anyone's, he really was, you're talking about Endgame, he was the Iron Man in this situation.
Yep.
Yeah, that kind of, and so anyway, so Seth comes up, and then The Rock cuts up a storm, he gets the belt, he's about to whip Cody, and then the gong.
The way the crowd reacted. Holy shit.
You talk about losing their minds. Philadelphia lost their minds.
Dude,
and they're not the only ones. I did too. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, what I said was, what in the fuck is happening here? Like, And they do the lights out.
The lights go out. The phones are on. The lights come back on, and standing behind The Rock is The Undertaker.
And it's a great shot. The crowd is losing their shit. Choke slam as The Rock is, like, loses his mind. Like, what the hell are you doing here? And the way I
choke slam to The Rock. Lights go out. Gong sound. Lights come back on. Both Rock and Taker have disappeared.
And we're back to the match.
Yeah. I'm so glad they went with Taker instead of Stone Cold.
Well, okay. I want to talk about that for a second because I'm going to explain to you why it wasn't Steve Austin and why I'm glad it wasn't.
Apparently, like, either he or his wife was sick, so he couldn't make the show.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate. But here's why I'm glad it wasn't that for a overall vibe reason. If Stone Cold was the one to come out and interrupt The Rock, and they had their back and forth, and The Rock did a stunner and then left and whatever, you'd still, I think, even when Cody Rhodes wins, Stone Cold would have to come out and then start stunning people, and it'd have to do, because that's Steve. That's his thing. I don't think that it would take away from Cody's moment in a way that having Undertaker do it doesn't. And the way that I have it pictured in my little brain is that The Rock overstepped his bounds as his TKO as the boss, and the ultimate guy who puts the boys in check, the ultimate locker room leader who sticks up for the boys and what they have earned, is The Undertaker. That's as established as possible.
And The Undertaker you could say Undertaker's still pissed about Roman beating him at WrestleMania 33.
Absolutely. I mean, and there's a lot that you could add to that. And I really do. I love that it was Taker. I was cool with it. I had no problems with it. And who doesn't love an unexpected
in a way,
Taker
this was kind of like a tribute just to WrestleMania in general, because look at what we have. We have John Cena, The Rock, Undertaker, legends of WrestleMania coming back in the main event, kind of like paying tribute to the show in general. I'm not going to lie, Sean. If Hulk Hogan had come out, this would have got a 15.
The show would have taken a turn. I'm glad he didn't.
No. If Hulk Hogan comes out, lays out the boot, and gives him the leg drop, I'm not gonna lie, this would have been a 15.
That would have been. It would have been something, but I don't know about that. I would have much. Who's left from the original WrestleMania?
Well, real quick, as we move on, this finish might be the best finish to a wrestling match I've ever seen. Like, not even joking. Holy fuck. This finish was pure genius.
Yep, as it kind of comes back down. Seth Rollins gets up. There's a chair in the ring. Cody's there laying prone. Roman Reigns has a chair. He could deal the final blow, but he sees the image that Roman Reigns had when he was betrayed by Seth Rollins of the Shield, and he has Vietnam flashbacks and decides it's time to exact his revenge.
He chose revenge over his championship.
Yep, and he got the chair shot and got Seth right into the back, the exact shot that has actually befallen many members of the bloodline when you think about it, including Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns himself. But that move, because Roman Reigns then goes to take care of Cody with a spear. Cody counters it, gets into the crossroads, but each one is just a little bit more of a struggle than the next, getting him up because he's endured a stupid amount of punishment. And he gets up and then finally is shaking at the end of where the third one, and finally lands the
Paul Heyman yelling, "No! No!"
And the cover, 1, 2, 3, and when I say Philadelphia erupted.
Yep.
Philadelphia erupted, and truthfully, it was beyond Philadelphia. That was a night, and that was a moment. I truly, for everything I said about Samantha Irvin, because she is, in fact, quite insufferable most of the time. The way she sold this by just genuinely being a fan and crying her way through it I think that hit a lot of people because that's how everybody felt about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's
This was
how
perfect.
everybody felt about it. It was perfect. It was
This was
exactly
literal
what the moment
respect.
needed. And the crowd was going absolutely insane throughout the whole thing. Michael Cole starts breaking down crying. He has maybe the best post-match speech in WrestleMania history. Say what you want about Michael Cole, but he said exactly what needed to be said for this moment.
May I say the speech?
Please do.
He left here disgruntled, heartbroken, to go create his own story, and Cody Rhodes came back here as a superstar. Cody Rhodes came back here and did something that his father, one of the greatest of all time, the American Dream Dusty Rhodes, could never accomplish. Cody Rhodes came back here and won the WWE Championship. Damn it, I love professional wrestling.
Testify.
Yeah. It's hard to argue that. And when I said, damn it, I love professional wrestling, I said, me too, Cole. Me too.
I third that motion.
And the baby
Charles
faces,
Robinson, who we haven't talked about, who has known Cody for a long time, hands him the belt, basically like a second father. Here comes Brandy. Here comes the locker room of all the baby faces that have lost to Roman Reigns.
Mm-hmm.
well, not all of them, but that's okay. We didn't need a couple of them.
We didn't need a couple of them, but like you get LA Knight, you get John Cena, you get Kevin Owens, you get Sami Zayn, you get Randy Orton, you get CM Punk.
Yeah, it was perfect. It was, and they celebrated. I'm surprised they didn't spend any money on confetti, but it was outdoors.
Yeah.
So where are you gonna put all of that? But
I'm sure we're gonna get some confetti on Raw tonight.
it was
I hope so.
it was still an incredible moment. I really did feel it. And I watched the show till the very end, the entirety of that celebration. And the best part was every time the Woe and Cody song was, the crowd boomed it. They did not get tired of it the whole time that it was running.
God,
And it was
I can't say enough good things about this.
me.
Mama Rhodes comes into the ring along with the rest of Cody's family.
She gets
They all
up.
hold the belts.
It was excellent. It was just everything about it was excellent. Even the hug to Nick Khan right at the very end, just to remember who's paying.
No.
$3.
We're not there yet because Cody grabs the mic and says, "It's been a long night, but I need two people to come out here, Bruce Pritchard and Triple." And Bruce Pritchard gets booed.
Honestly, this poor guy. It's like maybe he'll actually get some testicles now that Triple H is in charge. Maybe. But he got booed for. But even when he hugged Cody, they're like, okay, we can't boo you hugging the new world's champion we've been waiting for 2 years now. And
Especially with that story about the Rolex that basically Dusty Rhodes had to sell a Rolex so Cody could get classes for acting. And Triple H and Bruce Pritchard tried to find the Rolex, and they did, and returned it to Cody.
yeah, which is also pretty cool. And then Triple H as well, who, Cody said he's gonna come out kicking and screaming, but I'm like, nah, he's not. He's gonna come out there ready to go out there. This is Triple H we're talking about.
Well, there was a little bit of like the leader of the new era, Triple H.
Yeah. Well,
Which I know, again, it's like, okay, I know we're in a new era. Vince isn't here anymore. We're under Triple H's regime. I get that.
well, but here's the point I want to make with it, is that even Triple H got emotional. And when you have the literal head of the company and everyone around you having genuine emotion for a win, it's incredible. It was perfect. It was exactly what the night. And the thing was, with how fun the rest of the night was, this was such an unexpected icing on the cake.
Mm-hmm.
When we don't get this. We don't get this quality of show ever. And
We almost had it last year.
almost. Well, almost.
Not quite.
But at the end of the day...
But then it does bring into the question, does it make up for the disappointment of last year?
In a way.
Now, I've had some time to think about this. I'm going to say no, but I'm going to explain why. We did not realize or know that in a year's time, Vince was going to be caught head shitting. The Rock was going to join the board. The Rock was going to fuck this up. They were going to have to pivot, did it successfully, let people freely talk, expose blood on their television with a blade job, have a terrific tag match night 2 or night 1 to set up night 2, and then do some overbooked nonsense that was actually the right move. We didn't know any of that. All we knew at the time was this might be the only time that Cody is going to have the shot, because we're still not convinced that, and we weren't until the final 3 count of this WrestleMania, we weren't convinced that the booking capabilities were such that Cody would be able to remain relevant and make himself more valuable in the way that the booking was leading him towards. We didn't have the faith in that. And it felt like they missed their chance. We were saying it all the way up to when The Rock got involved, really. And that's why I do think that at that point, if they had changed the belt then, it would have been fine. They would have had a lot of different places to go. It just so happens they've really improved their rebound game. A lot. By a lot. We didn't realize just how much they've improved their rebound game. So, no, it doesn't make up for it. It was better. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I
agree.
It was better than what it would have been then, but it doesn't make up for the decision that was made at the time.
Yeah, it's not so much like the decision, it's more who made that decision.
Yeah, take a guess.
Yeah.
But now we get to ratings time. And I'm very interested. This might be, I think we're going to set a record here, gents. I think this is going to be a record-setting ranking here for the 3 of us. I will start with Skyler.
This is, in many ways, the easiest and hardest grade I've ever had to give, because no other show in quite a long time made me feel like an 8 or 9-year-old kid watching wrestling quite like tonight. You had everything. You had the great wrestling. You had the great storytelling, the promos, the excitement, the energy, the goofiness, the action, the coolness, the comedy. This was, top to bottom, maybe one of the best things I've ever seen. Was it perfect? No. Is it ever going to be perfect? No. And we're going into a new era of potential and excitement, and hopefully more good shows to come. Is it going to reach the heights of tonight? Probably not, because we don't have WrestleMania every single night. If we did it, we would get tired of it after a while. Having said that, my God, professional wrestling's fun. 10 out of 10 show.
Wow. The first 10 ever given by the Bay Area Brawler. JoshAgeddon, your ranking.
As we stated at the outset, I was terrified of this show because this was not just make or break for Cody. This was make or break for me. If Cody lost, I would have retroactively decreased my rating of the previous night to a 0 out of 10, and I would have given this a fuck you out of 10. And I probably would not have bothered watching WWE for at least a couple of years because I would have been serious. Imagine if they dangled that in front of us just to yank it away after the pivot.
That would have been
that would be the ultimate fuck you. But they didn't. And I still am having trouble processing that they actually listened to the fans, that they actually did the right thing. Do I regret throwing away my WWE DVDs and canceling my subscription and all that shit? No, because even though they did fix it and they made it better, they still fucked up in January, like to an alarming degree. And even then, I'm still a little bothered by it that they would even think that was a good idea at all in the first place. But we're on the other side of it now. They completely fixed it. This was a huge apology for that. And not even that, this whole night was fun. Was it perfect? No. But it didn't need to be. It was fun. And just, this is honestly, night 1 and night 2 together, this is probably one of the best WrestleManias they've ever done. This might end up, my favorite WrestleMania before this show was WrestleMania 19. It's a toss-up between 19 and this one, WrestleMania 40. And I 110% agree with Skyler. I am giving this also a 10 out of 10. Just
wow.
The ending alone gives this a 10 out of 10 for me.
Well,
Stop.
That's really tough to live up to. Got 2 10s down the board. And now we come to mine. And when I said about the final words I wrote on my notes about the last match were, it was long, it was booked to all hell, it was perfect. And the way that I really had to think about what I said at the time, because I was the first one who kind of pitched the idea that if this show stuck the landing, we might be looking at the first 10 show they've ever done in my eyes. 2 years ago. Do you remember where we were 2 years ago? We gave a show, WrestleMania Night 2, a 0 out of 30. We were done. It was over for us. We spent the next 6 months doing anything but talking about modern day wrestling because we didn't care anymore. They had sucked the interest out of us. That is what happened to the Court Martial podcast. That's the lowest of the low, where I really felt true shame for being a professional wrestling fan. I never really did before. I just accepted it. But then, at that moment, it nearly killed my passion for what this is. If you had told me the day we did that podcast, that in 2 years' time, Triple H would take this company and Vince would be completely gone from it, and he would take this and say to the wrestling fan, in no certain terms, in no certain ways, listen, I understand better than anybody what you've gone through. This company has been held captive by one man. One man has held this whole place hostage. For 20 years, it's been booked specifically for, and only for, this man. And now things have changed. You have gotten so much emotional investment put into us, and you have held on with us through the worst, through the dredge, through the jackasses, only in the most literal sense. You have dealt through all the bullshit and the garbage and the hokiness and the nonsense and you've dealt with it. You've put your emotional investment in it, and I know for a fact that you feel like all of that pain wasn't worth it. Because what have we given you to make you feel like the fandom of professional wrestling is worth it? This show, beyond the results of the matches, beyond the people involved who busted their ass to make this show what it was, beyond all of the shadows of a doubt that we had all the way up until that 3 count landed, which I had. The entire time, I didn't have the faith at all until that final 3 count landed. This is the ultimate message to the professional wrestling fan. This is the ultimate validation for the professional wrestling fan. This is WWE saying, I got you. Your emotional investment will be worth it. Yes, you can rely on us and you can trust in us. Will it all be great? No. How could it be? Every booker has their flaws. We've seen some of them manifest themselves. There's no doubt about that. But don't worry about it. You don't have to wonder, is there a greater vision? You can be assured the answer to that is yes. You will be assured that you will be taken care of. And if we fuck up, we will. But we'll figure it out. And you can rely on us now. You haven't been able to rely on this company for 20 years. And you saw it. The reaction when the company took the heat, we felt that. And we actually felt it. Not, oh, well, I don't like what I want to like, pal. No, we felt it. We felt your pain. And we made sure that we made it right. And this is going to be the way that we manage things going forward. You can rely on us to give you a reason to enjoy this product again. And that is what I think is so overcoming of emotion for me. Because that didn't have to happen. I thought it would never happen. I thought this company would have to be completely bankrupted before that happened. It would have to cause some sort of financial collapse. Remember how many times I complained about the talent needing to walk out?
Yeah.
And take a stand? That we based this podcast off of this.
Yeah, I mean, in a way, if you think about it, Cody Rhodes was that one talent who said, okay, I don't mean anything. I want to be a star, but they're not going to give me a chance. I need to leave and do something else.
And this is where we find ourselves, is that this company has said to us, look, it's okay. We're going to, when I said, I joked at the beginning of the podcast that Triple H really cradled the wrestling fan and said, look, you're safe. You're safe with me. But it really does feel that way. It's like, look, there is light at the end of this tunnel. And now we can actually begin to have some fun again. You just had to believe in us just a little bit. But we've got you. And that symbolism is the most important part of this entire WrestleMania. Beyond Cody winning it, which of course was the most important part. But what this signifies, what this night signifies for the company as a whole, Triple H said on Pat McAfee's podcast, the only competition we have is our past. And with a show like this, what you have done is beaten your competition. Mm-hmm. This is a 10 out of 10 show. The future is so astronomically bright, and I never thought I'd see it. I never thought I'd say it. From 0 to 30 in 2 years, that is the power of Triple H. I will take some crotch chops and pedigrees if this is what we get in return.
That one hell of a turnaround from a 0 out of 30 to a 30 out of 30.
Also, I want to be clear about something, just kind of like, I don't blame Roman Reigns for this. Going back to when he debuted, like, it was very clear at the beginning that Roman Reigns was going to be a tool that Vince McMahon was going to use to push because he was the smiley babyface, and the fans rejected him. And no matter how many anointments he got, the fans continued to reject him. And he got this title reign. It was super long, and it kept going. We didn't deny that Roman Reigns wasn't doing a good job with it. And we don't hate you, Roman. We just hated the way that you were pushed because of the guy that was behind you.
Let me put it this way. We don't hate you, Roman. We hate Vince.
Correct. Because he is a known ruiner of good things. And who knows what Roman Reigns could have been as far as actual drawing capability if Triple H had gotten his hands on him from the beginning.
Exactly.
You know?
Oh, that is a depressing thought.
Right? Like, it's because it was Vince's presentation of Roman Reigns that was the issue. And it's what hurt John Cena majorly. Think about what John Cena would have been able to do if he and Triple H wouldn't have been ready to be able to book at the time. He was still the big nose on campus. But it was...
But the thing is that we've seen what Vince McMahon's baby faces are going to be. It's going to be the Hulk Hogan's or the John Cena's or the Roman Reigns'. Stone Cold Steve Austin was kind of an exception to the rule.
Well, but at the same time, every decade we get a smaller babyface win. 10 was Brett, 20 was Eddie and Chris, 30 was Daniel Bryan, 40's Cody Rhodes. So So Orange Cassidy's a shoo-in for 50.
Okay, all right, stop right there.
No, you're right. I'm sorry. Danny Garcia. My bad.
Actually, I will take Orange Cassidy instead.
No.
And just just to wrap this up, after a perfect 30 for WrestleMania 40, what do you do if you're AEW now?
Go away. Piss off.
You air the highlights of the reason why your company no longer is a big league.
Because at this point, I saw TNT Sports post WrestleMania highlights.
Wow.
So let me ask you something. If you're Warner Discovery, and you're looking at how WrestleMania is and how the crowd is and how the reception of the whole show is, in comparison to where it was 2 years ago, which you had AEW when that was happening, and now you're looking at the 2-year scale of what's happened with them and what's happened with your company in a contract year. What do you do? Do you re-sign this company?
Absolutely not. I still think they're a bunch of idiots and they're going to re-sign them because they're idiots, but how? Like, it defies logic if they re-sign them again.
This was a nail. To me, this was the ultimate nail in that coffin.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing Edge can do to save that place. Because he's part of the problem.
There's no rah-rah speed. There's no, but wrestling's fun. Let's be positive. Don't listen to that mean man that talked to Helwani.
And not even MJF can save AEW. Let's be clear.
MJF needs to get your ass over to WWE pronto.
AEW is like the go-to-jail space on Monopoly right now. It's like
that is the most perfect and accurate description I've ever heard. That is so
Well, here's the real question: is when do talents that are in AEW start going to WWE? Because you're looking at this entire weekend, and you're seeing the big crowds that are excited. You see talents like Jade Cargill going over and getting featured in a major way. You see Cody Rhodes winning and everyone crying and happy and excited.
he and CM Punk are hugging in the middle of the ring after the main event.
Especially if you're a friend of Cody Rhodes or a friend of CM Punk. Like, why would you stay in AEW? Yes, you're going to get paid money, and yes, you're not going to work as many dates, but you're going to be performing in crowds that are infinitely times smaller with no excitement and no energy and no buzz, while I have an owner who has no idea what the hell he's doing.
Imagine watching WrestleMania and then going out and performing in front of a crowd that's barely 1/10 that size.
Yeah.
Depressing.
It is depressing. But you know what is not depressing? WWE, man. They're back. And I'm actually excited to be a wrestling fan again.
Me too. I can't wait to watch Raw tonight.
Thank you for the rehabilitation, Triple H. We have begun to heal. And that is the most... Thank you, Based H is the best way to put it. Folks, I don't know when we're going to talk about stuff, but we like talking about stuff. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe on this channel and all the other channels. I'm pretty sure like all 5,000 characters in the description is links now. So click on literally all of them. Spend your whole day. And thank you for joining all of us. Skyler, say something or snort or do something.
WrestleMania was fantastic, but now the story has been finished, but the story must continue.
That's right.
New story.
That's
the
right.
new era of WWE.
And I'm excited. JoshAgeddon, any final words?
I love this show. I am probably going to rekindle my Peacock subscription. And I'm gonna.
Heck, I've been watching the show while we're doing this review.
I can't wait to watch Raw tonight. But like, what Sean said, thank you guys so much for watching our review. Like, comment, subscribe to all of our shenaniganery. We have as much shenaniganery in our description as there was shenaniganery in the main event of Mania Night 2.
Yes.
So much. If you like shenaniganery, you have come to the right place, ladies and gentlemen. But thank you guys so much for watching our review. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that fun stuff. And I will see you guys next time.
And folks, I'm going to leave us off on one question. And we're not going to actually get into it now, but the next time we do, maybe we'll have a little insight into it. Now that Cody Rhodes is champion, did the people love the fact that Cody's the champion, or do they just love the chase? We'll be right back right after this.